On the news, authorities confirmed over 30 casualties in Ikoyi building collapse. IPOB denies calling for boycotts of Anambra governorship election. And abductors of Uni Abuja staff demand 300 million naira ransom. We're glad to have you join us now on News Now. I am Folashade Ogrinde. The death toll in the building collapse on Gerald Road, Ikoyi, has continued to rise. Over 30 bodies have been recovered and 9 people rescued from the rubble, while relatives of victims and sympathizers throng in their numbers to the site of the crash. Emergency officials and security agencies say rescue operations will continue for as long as possible. Our correspondent Mary Kanu has more in this report.
High-rise buildings like these are a common sight in Ikoyi, Lagos State. While some are completed and occupied, others are still under construction. Considering the location of the buildings, not many would exercise concern on the quality of the buildings. Surprisingly, one of the buildings caved in broad daylight, causing chaos and panic among residents. As with any disaster, anxious relatives of victims trooped to the site of the collapse to search for their loved ones, hoping against hope that they will be brought out alive.
He came here, I don't know the tribe. They are from Edo. He came here to visit the developer. No, from US. From US. He came to a wedding from Abuja. Then the developer, they met there. He said, come and see the work he's working on yesterday before you go back. That is why he was there.
As at on Monday now, our wife now called me that he's looking for his husband. Maybe I know where he is. So as I now, I just hear from anybody that everybody that's about there that there is one incident that has happened at Ikoyi or this and that. So they now said it's among people that are here. So that's why we came here. I'm just pleading that they should maybe, if they see them or if they can release them for us, so we can carry our. That's what I expect.
Responding to the incident, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu visits the site of the building, assuring the rescue operations will be efficient and effective.
We're still conducting what we call a search and rescue mission. The site is still a live site. We're still very hopeful because each time they pump oxygen, they pump water into the debris so that if we have survivors, they will still have a chance to continue to breathe.
With fire trucks and excavators sent in to help the rescue process, Sanwo-Olu also announced the creation of a website for the registration of missing family members.
We have a desk that has been set up here where we want family members. Like I said, we do not have a manifest. So anybody that is missing, that you think you must have assumed that maybe came here to work or is a worker here, you will take down the name of the person. If you have a photograph of the person, it will be very, very useful, right? We also want your name and contact, of who is presenting.
The spate of building collapses in Lagos, the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, has continued to draw national concerns. Now, despite concerted efforts by the Lagos state government to reduce the figure of collapses in the state, the figure has continued to rise, leaving relatives of the deceased to pick up the pieces of what is left of their loved ones. Mary Kanu, TV360, Nigeria.
The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, has said visible and invisible security features have been introduced to the ballot papers for the governorship election in Anambra State. Yakubu disclosed this on Wednesday at a stakeholders meeting in Awka, the Anambra State capital. According to Yakubu, the move aims to safeguard the integrity of the ballot papers and to frustrate any attempt to subvert the process. On his part, the Inspector General of Police, Alkali Baba, doused every sense of apprehension while assuring the voters of a peaceful and lawful election.
That in designing the sensitive materials for the election, the Commission introduced additional and visible and invisible security features, including different color codes. The materials have also been customized by local government areas and for some categories of the materials by polling units as well.
This massive deployment is not designed to intimidate the law-abiding as insinuated in some quarters. In the contrary, it is to reassure them of adequate protection by deterring misguided political elements as well as non-state actors that might be bent on threatening the election through acts of armed violence or other conducts that violate the provisions of the Electoral Act. It is to also serve as a strong warning that the government is determined to bring such subversive characters to justice should they advance their ignoble, undemocratic, and unpatriotic intents. The overriding objective of our operational action plan is to ensure an environment that is peaceful enough to encourage the law-abiding people of Anambra State to exercise their electoral franchise. The message here is clear. For the political actors and electorates that are law-abiding, they are fully assured of optimal security. However, for the destabilizing elements and other deviants who, despite all wise counsels, are determined to deploy violence and other illegal means to advance their political interests or constitute a clog in the wheel of peaceful atmosphere for election, they should be prepared for the consequences of their action as they will be identified, isolated, and decisively dealt with irrespective of their status, ideological inclination, and political affiliation.
The Indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has denied allegations linking the group to calls for the boycott of the Anambra governorship election. In a statement issued on Thursday, IPOB spokesperson Ima Powerful said the group did not call for the boycott of the election and has not asked anyone to impose the sit-at-home order. According to the IPOB spokesperson, the priority of IPOB is to secure the unconditional release of its leader, Nnamdi Kanu, who has been detained since his repatriation to Nigeria. The abductors of the 6 persons that were kidnapped from the University of Abuja staff quarters have contacted their families to demand ransom. Spokesperson of the university will confirm the development to newsmen, explained that the kidnappers have demanded 50 million naira for each person that was taken, making 300 million naira in total. Obansa Joseph, a professor of economics, 2 of his children and 3 other persons were abducted on Tuesday when gunmen attacked the staff quarters of the university in the morning, shooting sporadically in the air while they carried out the attack, which lasted for over 2 hours. We have security experts, and as we go on to the story about the bandits who kidnapped some people at the University of Abuja staff quarters, demanding for so much, I think about 300 million naira. Thank you so much for reconnecting back to us. Now, what do you make of this situation, especially when we've seen several issues or several cases of bandits kidnapping a certain group of people, either in the university or just travelers, and demanding a huge sum of money? What do you make of this?
Well, I think that there's a peculiar case in Nigeria. Banditry, kidnapping happens everywhere in the world. The different situation in Nigeria is that people are kidnapped en masse. So you have mass abduction, which does not really happen in other parts of the world. What it shows is that there are some fundamental things that are wrong. I give you an example. We know that in forests all over North Central and Northwest, that there are bandits, that very well organized structures of bandits. The supplier of arms, the formats and all that is a well organized structure, and we have allowed them to fester for a long time. And today they are beginning to come out and carry out activities that people think that were not possible. And for this, we have, personally, as professional, we have shouted about this for a long time, that there will be a day that will come that even Abuja will not be safe. So we are there today because we have not taken the necessary step to address the problems at the root of it.
Now, a very fundamental part of this security situation is that we hear reports of bandits kidnapping certain people, demanding for ransom. And these people, of course, who want to get back their loved ones have to pay the ransom. Now, how do you think this vicious circle can be broken, especially when you consider the fact that a lot of money is being lost and the payments of ransoms seem to empower these bandits the more?
Now, the fundamental issue is that we have a huge swath of ungoverned spaces where the bandits live, where they operate, where they plan, where they train, where they mobilize from. So the first thing to do is to go to where the bandits and the criminal elements are and flush them out. And this is doable. But of course, you know that we are having a massive inadequacy in men and equipment currently in our security services. So what government needs to do, which we cannot run away from, is that we will need certainly to employ a lot of people into the security services, into the military, and equip them adequately, and then ensure that they are allowed, politically, they are allowed to go into these areas, ungoverned spaces, and flush out this element. It's not that it cannot be done, but when you have inadequacy in manpower, you have inadequacy in equipment, this is the kind of thing that you have. And if we do not address this issue of inadequacy in mobilizing men and materials, then we are going to be in for a long night.
Well, security experts and David Okoro, many thanks for your contributions on the program. Moving on now, the people of Daura in Katsina State have reiterated their commitment to support Governor Yahaya Bello in his quest to contest for the 2023 presidency. The group made this known when they paid a courtesy visit to Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State in Abuja, the nation's capital. Speaking during the visit, the leader and spokesman of the group, Abba Daura, maintained that the people of Katsina State are grateful to Yahaya Bello for his tremendous support to President Muhammadu Buhari, who is an indigene of Daura.
You really support our president. You are always trying to find ways that you can help him to make his dreams reality. So these are the main reasons we're here, to show solidarity, support you, so that when we go back home, we will, inshallah, try to see how we can help you, what type of encouragement we are going to give you, so that what you are yearning for, all your dreams have become reality.
There's a president who will allow the will of the people to prevail. He will never twist anybody. So the least we can do for him is to ensure that we do everything, whether in the open or in the secret, whether Mr. President know or not, whether he recognize and appreciate or not. The least we can do is to do everything to support him to succeed.
I will take a break here, but still to come, U.S. envoy arrives in Ethiopia amid crisis. What details of the story and more right after this break.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the go-to app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Now here is a reminder of some of our top stories tonight. The death toll in the building collapse on Gerald Road, Ikoyi, has continued to rise. Over 30 bodies have been recovered and 9 people rescued from the rubble. This comes as rescue operations by the combined team of National Emergency Management Agency NEMA, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency LASEMA, and security agencies continue their rescue efforts. We also told you that the Indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, says it did not call for the boycott of the Anambra governorship election. In a statement issued on Thursday, IPOB spokesperson Ima Powerful said the group did not call for the boycott of the election and has not asked anyone to impose a sit-at-home order. The group said it has no business with any election and is only interested in the release of its leader, Nnamdi Kanu. But in case you missed any of our news bulletin, or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are at TV360 Online. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, says it registered 1 additional death from the coronavirus pandemic on Wednesday. This is just as the agency announced that it recorded 209 additional infections across 11 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. Gombe State topped the chart with 109 cases, while the FCT and Rivers had 21, followed by Lagos State with 13 cases. The Public Health Institute made this known via its official website, noting that the fatality in the country now stood at 2,890, with a total number of 212,359 cases confirmed across the country. Germany on Thursday witnessed its biggest daily rise in COVID-19 cases since the pandemic began. The Robert Koch Institute Health Agency in a report revealed that the country recorded 33,949 new cases in the past 24 hours, beating the previous daily record of 33,777 on December 18, 2020. Germany's health minister had issued a warning of a 4th wave raging with exceptional force, given the sharp rise in cases over the past few weeks. Germany's COVID surge comes amid its September's general election, with hopes of a new coalition government in place by early December. We'll take another break here. I return with more stories in business. Just stay with us.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now you find out. 2 of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no, you don't need to do this. We're only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Okay, which came up with this one? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Well, up next is business news and stock market review with Abisola Adebayo. Over to you, Bisola.
Thank you very much, Falashadi. Welcome to Business News. The Federal Executive Council meeting, presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, has approved a total sum of 50 billion naira for several projects across different ministries. The meeting at the First Lady Conference Room in the State House Abuja authorized the award of contracts for the procurement of 46 operational vehicles for the Nigeria Customs Service to enhance effective delivery of service, among others. There's details in this next report. It's the second consecutive Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo due to President Muhammadu Buhari's engagements outside the country. Briefing newsmen at the end of the meeting, Minister of Aviation Adi Sirika says the council approved 3 contracts to improve operations at 2 of Nigeria's busiest airports, the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos and the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja.
Approval for the award of contract for the supply and installation of baggage handling system at Murtala Mohammed Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, and the contract sum, total contract sum, is 3,615,265,710 naira and 69 Nigerian kobo. Approval for the award of contract for the manufacture, supply, installation and operating training of disabled aircraft recovery system at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The contract sum was 2,209,593,428 naira 0.08 kobo.
On his part, Minister of State for Budget and National Planning Clement Agba says Council approved the sum of 1.5 billion naira for the procurement of 46 vehicles for the Nigeria Customs Service. The purchase, he explained, is to improve the operational efficiency of the service and increase revenue generation.
In 2020, we did see a whole lot of huge seizures that were made by the Nigerian customs, and also the performance in terms of revenue. Even with 2021 up till August, they have overperformed the prorated rate of the target that they were given. So the council believes that by provision of these additional vehicles, it will also help in enhancing not only their effectiveness but their efficiency.
Meanwhile, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity Femi Adesina briefed on memos approved for the Ministry of Power and Education.
There was an approval for the construction and furnishing of new Senate building and a 1,000 capacity conference center by the University of Abuja. There was also an approval for award of contract for the construction of 400 kilowatts solar PV power plant at the Federal Medical Center, Jabi in Abuja.
The Executive Council at the meeting also gave the green light for the rehabilitation of the road that connects Ilela in Sokoto State to Benin Konin in Niger Republic to the tune of 8.4 billion naira. Abisola Adebayo, TV360 News. We'll take a break here and return with a review of the stock market. The bears maintained dominance on the nation's stock market as the market closed in the negative for the second consecutive day. Today, the all-share index dipped by 0.08% to close at 41,943 basis points. The market capitalization also lost 16 billion naira at the close of trading. This negative sentiment is because investors went on a selling spree, making the NGX relaxed in the bears territory. FarmDeco suffered the heaviest loss with a 10.00% decline. That's why it's topping our losers table. It's closely followed by consumer goods giant Unilever. It recorded a 1 naira 35 kobo loss. At the other side of the chart, that's our gainers list. The duo of SCOA Nigeria PLC and Linkage Assurance led that counter. They both gained 13 kobo at the close of trading. Our market summary sees a total volume of 160 million units of shares valued at 1.4 billion naira, exchanging hands in 3,600 688 deals. On the foreign scene, that's the FTSE, the Dow Jones and the Nikkei. The market is mixed today. London's FTSE rallied on Thursday as the pound plunged following the Bank of England's decision to defy markets by leaving rates unchanged. The Dow unfortunately slipped from an all-time closing high hit on Wednesday, dragged down by big banks. Japan stocks were higher after the close on Thursday as gains in the paper and pulp, railway and bus and real estate sectors led shares higher. That's all on Stock Market Review. Over to Fola Shade for the rest of the news.
Well, many thanks, Abisola, for that update. Now, on the foreign scene, the U.S. State Department has announced that its special envoy for Africa, led by Jeffrey Feltman, will travel to Ethiopia on Thursday for a 2-day visit out of growing concern over violence in the country's northern Tigray region. Feltman's visit comes as the Tigrayan fighters have made some advances towards the capital city of Addis Ababa in recent fighting. Ethiopia's military government on Tuesday declared a state of emergency as the Tigrayan forces threaten to push forward to Addis Ababa amid a year-long conflict that has killed thousands of people, forcing more than 2 million more from their homes and leaving 400,000 people in Tigray facing famine. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Brimo's longtime manager Lanre Lawal has stated that he has parted ways with the Nigerian singer. In his farewell message, Lawal, who has managed Brimo for about 8 years, stated that it was a mutual decision to move on to the next stage of their professional journeys individually. This development is coming shortly after Brimo claimed in October that legendary Nigerian singer Tubaba accused him of sleeping with his wife, and also Brimo alleged that Tubaba sent some thugs to beat him up. Director Izu Ojukwu is finally letting fans in on a crucial part of the pre-production of his newly released historical film, Amina. In a recent Instagram post, the filmmaker disclosed that the screenplay for the film based on warrior queen Amina of Zazzau was written by the writer of Nollywood classic Living in Bondage. Recall that Ojukwu announced that the historical film would debut exclusively on Netflix. Amina stars Lucy Ame in the lead role alongside Clarion Chukura, Ali Nuhu, among others. And that is all that we have for you in the entertainment segment of News Now.
Away from entertainment now to sports, Liverpool and Ajax kept up their perfect records in the Champions League this season to qualify for the knockout phase of the Champions League with 2 group games to spare. Diego Jota and Sadio Mane scored to give Liverpool a 2-0 win over 10-man Atletico Madrid at Anfield, as Jurgen Klopp's side kept up the perfect record to secure top spots in Group B, while Ajax came up from behind to win 3-1 at 10-man Borussia Dortmund, with Sebastian Haller scoring a 7th Championship League goal this season as the Dutch side sealed their progress from Group C. And it's a wrap on our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Fola Shade. Ogurinde. Bye for now.